Welcome Math 107 students to the preview exercises for lesson number 8 from sections 1.4 and 1.5 in our textbook. So I hope you had a chance to take a look at that. Today we're going to continue our work with quadratic equations, but in this section we're going to be looking at quadratic equations that do not have real numbers as solutions. So as you can see, the topic today are complex numbers and quadratic equations with non-real solutions. So the first exercise asks us to find the real number solutions to the following quadratic equations that are in standard form by examining their graphs and finding where the graph crosses the x-axis. So if we look at this first quadratic equation, x squared plus 3x equals 0, we're asking where does this, what are the x values that make your y values 0? And we know that those values of x that make y equal 0 in terms of our graph language are what we call the x-intercepts. So if we just find the x-intercepts for this graph, we get the two solutions, -3, 0. If we look at the next graph of 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals 0, or the next equation, the graph itself is 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals y, and this graph is x squared plus 3x equals y. So we're looking for a specific spot on this graph, and that's where y is 0. That's this equation, and that's the two solutions for this equation. The graph you see here is this graph 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals y, which again is a parabola, and it has an infinite number of solutions. We're interested in the particular solution when y equals 0, and if we look at our graph, we see that happens at one point, -1.5. So we see a situation here where we can have two real solutions for a quadratic equation, one real solution for a quadratic equation, and you should be fairly familiar with this after solving some of the quadratic equations you did for homework last night. Let's take a look at number 2. Suppose we graph the quadratic equation x squared plus 1 equals y, and we would get this particular parabola. And if we were asked to solve the equation x squared plus 1 equals 0, we would find, by examining the graph as we did up in problem number 1, we would say, oh no, we don't cross at all. So what are we going to say for our answer? Well, for right now, all you can say is that there's no real number solutions to this equation, x squared plus 1 equals 0. There's no real number solutions. It has solutions, but they're not real numbers. So if a parabola does not cross the x-axis, then its solutions are not, then the solutions to the equation set equal to 0, where y is 0, are non-real numbers, and those solutions lie in the complex number system. So for now, we can say it has no real number x-intercepts or no real x-intercepts. So we have to figure out, what does it mean to say it has no real number solutions? What else is there? Well, there's another entire number system that contains real numbers, but also some new numbers that we're going to take a look at in today's demo.